Produced by Podcast Architects.
Welcome back from the Houston Small Business Expo. I'm Ben Wiggins on behalf of Podcast Architects and the Houston Small Business Expo, and I'm here with Casie Williams. Casie, tell us a little bit about your perception of the event so far.
This is my first time here, and it is phenomenal.
It's hopping, right?
It is crazy, but it's amazing. I love it.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit more about your business.
Well, really, it's interesting. I am a productivity coach and a writing specialist, but how I got into it is even crazier. So
Go on.
I actually started off as a teacher.
Oh.
So I taught writing for a number of years, and I was in the education world for quite a few years.
Yeah.
And then I decided I'd get out of it. And I became a writing specialist. Pretty much anything except for legal documents I can pretty much do. But I can actually edit legal documents. But I kept getting asked, do I have any strategies, any tricks, tips, anything to help with productivity or goal setting?
Okay.
Because I actually am pretty good at that. It's something that I learned how to do, something I taught my students how to do, something I taught my kids how to do. And as a military spouse, I had to learn how to time manage and goal set.
Sure.
So I kind of found myself becoming a productivity coach and back in the arena of teaching all over again.
Yes. What are like three of the most important productivity observations that you've made? Like the three biggest tips, three things people need to know.
The biggest thing is that you have to know is, what is your time worth?
Okay.
If you don't know that, nothing else matters.
Okay.
The second thing is that making sure that you understand what you're doing the next day, because otherwise you're walking into chaos.
Okay.
And you also don't sleep the night before. You just don't. And the third thing is to understand that you can have grace with yourself, and it is very important to have grace with yourself.
Oh.
So
I love that.
those are the best things. I've learned those over the years, and I don't want my clients to spend the years that I took to learn those things.
Yeah.
And I want them to learn them faster and say, okay, yes, I'm sick. Yes, I can take the day off, but I can still do these 4 little steps, this 1/4 inch, to make a difference today, and then drink some chicken noodle soup and go to bed. Oh yeah, by the way, that's what I did last week. You know,
Fair enough.
That's what you have to do sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
How has the landscape of that business changed over the last year, 2 years, 3 years?
I think it really hasn't changed. I think people have started realizing that they want a better life-work balance and not a work-life balance. With the whole pandemic and being stuck at home and everything, they realize, oh, snap, I missed this. I don't want to miss this anymore. I have 3 daughters at home. My husband is a retired military vet and going into the police department. And we've realized that we want the life-work balance, not the work-life balance. Because once you have the work first, forget life. It will never happen.
Right. What are you most impressed with in terms of how the Houston Small Business Expo puts all of this together?
Just the energy, the smiling faces, just everything putting together and everyone willing to talk, the professionalism. And even though I don't have a booth this year, next year I will. People are still willing to talk to me and listen to what I have to say, because I do have a voice, and I love that.
That's fantastic. Now, what is next for you over the next 3 to 6 months to a year? You mentioned having a booth here next year. Tell us a little bit beyond that.
My goal is to help as many people that walk in my path, that God has put in my path. I'm very much in my faith, and I understand that this is a God-given path. And I want people to understand that that's what makes me different. So I work with them as much as I can. I am pushing out also a time management course to help them understand how to better manage things so that they can achieve those goals and not be busy, but be productive.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, what would you do with an extra 10 hours in your week? How much
Ooh,
more money
man.
could you make with working less? I mean,
Yeah.
seriously, we could all do that, right?
Yes, no question.
And then on top of that, I also have an extremely in-depth goal setting course that I created that I'm going to be launching later on this year as well, that I am excited for, just to help people that are begging to figure out, why can't I get those goals? Why can't I achieve them? This is why. Let's get you past this. Let's keep you turning that page.
Last question. When people are saying to you, why can't I get there? What's the most common thing that you eventually get to? What's the thing that they're most often doing wrong?
They're getting in their own way. Honestly, a lot of times, and I did it to myself, is I got in my own way. A lot of times we get in our own way. We have this fear that we can't do something, or, oh my goodness, this might happen. You have to step out of your comfort zone, and you have to be willing to say, okay, this might not work out, but at least I have a plan, and I'm going to work it to the best of my ability, and accept help when you can't get there on your own.
Fantastic. Casie, thanks so much for the time. We appreciate you joining us this evening.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Produced by Podcast Architects.